Hey everybody, welcome to chapter 13 of our Romans study here this summer. We're actually getting really close to the end, so we're about to finish it up. As we get into chapter 13, I have a couple of thoughts about it. I'm wondering, have you ever had that thing that you've had to try and treat the symptom and you've ended up not really treating the thing that's actually there? So for example, the idea that maybe you break your arm, right? You break your arm, and instead of like fixing the arm, you instead just start taking pills to manage the pain. And then, in addition to managing the pain, you go and find yourself some different apparatuses to maybe compensate. So, you have different things to help you tie your shoes, you have things to help you type with only one hand to make it a little bit easier, you have stuff to throw the hammer with or to hammer the hammer with that isn't using that broken arm. Well, as you're doing this, you might find yourself able to do a whole lot of things without that one arm as it sits there broken, and you just kind of don't use it and you don't fix it ever. But honestly, that'd be pretty silly, wouldn't it? You may be treating the symptoms, you may be creating for yourself this way of living that works, but it doesn't necessarily make things work the way they ought to, the way that they were meant to. And it's kind of what we see as we look at chapter 13. Right about halfway through the chapter, we read these verses that talk about really the root of it all, the root of how we're called to live, the root of how we're supposed to conduct ourselves in these lives. We can see it in chapter 13, verses 8 through 10. Owe nothing to anyone except for your obligation to love one another. If you love your neighbor, you will fulfill the requirements of God's law. For the commandments say, you must not commit adultery, you must not murder, you must not steal, you must not covet. These and other such commandments are summed up in this one commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to others, so love fulfills the requirements of God's law. When Jesus came, what he was offering was this root cause fix. There was this thing that had happened where people had fallen into this act of sin where they do things, they make mistakes. People have been fallen creatures. We've done the things that we know we shouldn't do, that hurt our relationships with God and our relationships with each other. Well, over the years, there were these ways of coping with it, this law that was provided so that we could basically endure through that time period before Jesus came. But then Jesus comes, and instead of just creating these ways of dealing with the situation, Jesus goes to the root cause, and he shows us how to do this the right way. He shows us how to live by faith in him and trusting his example. And his example is to love each other. He gives himself for us out of love in this way that makes our relationship with God and others right again, and it's out of love. So he shows us this new way forward. Not to just try and fix everything by going around it, but by going to the root cause and how to care for each other, and that's to love. So this week, as you jump into Romans chapter 13 and you read through it, I want you to take a moment and think through those questions that we ask every week. What jumped out at you as you read this chapter? How does what you read challenge you to transform the way you think? And in what ways does this transformed way of thinking translate into living differently? And then as you do so, also consider some specific questions for chapter 13. Who is a neighbor you could love better this week? What's one way you can slice through red tape in your life to care for someone? And finally, Jesus showed us the way. Have you accepted the loving act of Jesus? Thanks for checking out our video study of Romans. We're going to post one of these every single week on Monday. And as we do, we hope this is a chance for you to be transformed by God as you study what he says in the book of Romans and not just conform to whatever's around you. Hope you have a great week.